Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Sports Show. Our show today is probably the most packed edition we've ever had. So packed that I don't even have time to tell you what's coming up on the show, so you're just going to have to go with us. Hello Sam.
Hello Michael, yeah, it's pretty packed today, isn't it? We were sort of having not an argument, we were just mulling things over on the way. Like, what can we possibly fit into the show? There's so much going on this week.
So much sport, but we set the tone from the off, Sam. We set the tone. What's the song in the background?
It's the song, call it what you like. Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer, a well-known hymn. Bread of Heaven, Coombe Ronda.
Oh, wow!
Love it.
He went for the Welsh language one.
I was asking Reeve about that earlier.
That's alright. No, that's good, that's good. So yeah, Bread of Heaven, which obviously is related to Welsh rugby, and that is our main topic of conversation for the start of the show. So I think, without further ado, we're going to do the news, but that's a bit later because we think that the sports show has done so much for the Six Nations. It's only fair that we preview the last round of the Six Nations very, very properly. So we're going to start that now.
Yes. Massive match this weekend, haven't we, Michael?
We have got an absolute humdinger. Who will win between Ireland and Italy? That is on everyone's lips at the moment. Who is going to be victorious? No, unfortunately, that is not the match that everyone will be watching.
The match
of England versus Wales.
Can Wales win by 8 points? Is the question that everybody wants to know.
What happens if it's the margin at the moment is England are 7 points ahead? Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens if Wales win by 7 points?
If Wales win by 7 points, I think they've got to. I think England have to score 2 tries to still win, because I think it goes on points difference. England are 7 ahead. If it's equal on that, it goes on tries scored. I think Wales have scored 2 more. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Wales have scored 2 more.
Wow, well, that would be absolutely fascinating if Wales won by 7 points. But it's going to be an interesting one. Are you nervous, or do you think you'll be all right, or what's?
I would hope that we'll be all right. Obviously, I'm not completely sure. You never can be. I think England have got too much for Wales, but it is at the Millennium Stadium. Anything can happen in 80 minutes. Someone might have the game of their lives. You never really know, do you? But I think England will win, but it's a massive, massive match.
Well, the thing is, right? Okay, I mean, I have to say you've been probably the best team in this Six Nations, but the quality of this Six Nations has not been great. I honestly don't think so.
I'd agree with that.
Ireland have been below par. France have been awful. Scotland have been patchy.
The opening weekend was excellent.
Outstanding.
It set us up for brilliant Six Nations, didn't it? I mean, Zebo's little flick just to kick it all off. It seems ages ago now.
It does, doesn't it?
But yeah, we've had I'd agree. There's been a lot of kicking, a lot of stagnant rugby forwards plays, and Scotland-Wales. And breaking records for the amount of penalties in the match.
I was going to say,
attempts at goal.
Do you know what I think a lot of that to do with is the scrum? The scrum in international rugby at the moment is an absolute shambles.
Yeah, no one knows what they're doing, do they? The crouch, touch, set.
You know, when Nigel Owens is unclear of what he's meant to do,
something's
wrong, because Nigel Owens knows exactly what he's doing at every time. So, but yeah, it's been, no team has really excelled. Even England, who are still on for the Grand Slam, deservedly so, have played well only in parts. They just about scraped through against Italy at home.
Yeah, I mean, against Italy they had a very good opening 20 minutes, but then once they hadn't really broken through, they didn't really amount to anything, did they? But I think before the Italy game you'd have said, England are head and shoulders above everyone. Yeah. They probably played the best rugby and are the only team you could really look at as being a world-class unit. But against Italy, they just flopped completely, really, didn't they?
And the other thing is, going into Italy, really the championship could have been taken from England then and there. If England had taken like a 25-point victory over Italy, that would give them a 32 goal points difference over Wales, which would mean the only thing they were going for was a Grand Slam with the championship all but assured.
Well, I was watching Scrum 5 in the week, because I quite often do. It's on iPlayer. Good little show. They were saying that, after the Wales-Scotland game, because obviously they played before England-Italy, really they were looking them forward to the England game. At the Millennium Stadium, just to spoil the Grand Slam party, really, and cement second place. But when England didn't really perform against Italy, they've got a whole new opportunity to win the championship again, as they did last year. And what a turnaround for Rob Howley, by the way.
Well, absolutely. I mean, really, they lost all of their autumn internationals, am I right? They lost all their, and then Ireland beat them at the Millennium Stadium.
Questions were getting asked.
And people started really worrying, didn't they?
Yeah.
They worried that Wales would lose a lot of their Lions burst, that Wales would not be the team they once were. For a lot of people, I don't think many people still thought Wales have a chance of winning the championship at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
but as you say, fair play to Rob Howley. He's turned it around. 3 very good wins, and they come into the game against England with a real chance of spoiling the Grand Slam party.
Yeah, they've got their confidence back. I mean, I think that's obvious, even in George North's comments, that the Wales fans want a bloodbath, and he hopes Wales can deliver. Ian Evans comments that the pressure's on England.
Mm.
Wales are definitely quietly confident.
Oh, absolutely, and they have
In
every
fact,
right to be
not
as
even
well.
quietly confident.
No.
They're confident. They're as confident as England. You're hearing a lot more noises from the Welsh camp.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, it would be very, very interesting to see. And I think, have you seen Gethin Jenkins captaining Wales?
Yeah, that's interesting. What do you think about
huge
that?
call.
Because I mean, I read it was quite well documented to a point that it was going to be kind of the race for the Lions captaincy between Warburton and Robshaw, but now Warburton's not even captain of Wales, let alone the Lions.
Yeah, well, Ryan Jones came in, didn't he, in the second or third match for Wales, and he played brilliantly.
Very,
and
very
he was
well.
being the captain. Then when Warburton came back in against Scotland and had a brilliant game, they were saying that the pressure's been taken off him by having Ryan Jones as captain, and he had played really well just without the pressure. Just go out there, do your magic, and he did.
Yeah.
He had an absolutely brilliant game, probably one of the best games of the whole tournament by any player. But Jones is still injured, so the dilemma was: do we want Warburton to be captain? Do we want him thinking about all of the extra responsibilities that come with the captaincy, or do we just want to take his game and sort of do his talking on the pitch? And there was talk that maybe Alan Wynne-Jones would be captain, but they've gone for Gethin Jenkins.
You know what? From what you've just said there, I think that's a very, very good. It's a good decision that's been made, because if Warburton was playing that well, which he did against Scotland, and if it was that kind of freedom of not having to worry about the captaincy and all the kind of responsibilities and decisions that comes with being the captain, if that was taken away from him and that's how he played, you'd rather have Sam Warburton the player than Sam Warburton the captain, wouldn't you?
I'd completely agree. I think the only slight thing I'd say it's a little bit harsh on Paul James, who had a brilliant scrummaging game against Scotland, but they've gone for Gethin Jenkins over him, which I think that could show, because England have been very strong at the breakdown. I mean, Gethin Jenkins is widely renowned as a very good scrummager, but people think Paul James is slightly better, but Jenkins is a lot better in the loose. So I think it's an interesting decision, and then to give Jenkins the captaincy as well, maybe it'll fire him up and spur him on to play really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting decision. It's going to be a very interesting game and Super Saturday tomorrow. But let's talk a bit more generally about this Six Nations 2013. I'm going to name each country individually, Sam, okay? And you have to just name one player, the first player that stands out for you, okay?
Okay.
Italy.
Andrea Marzi.
Wales.
Halfpenny.
Scotland.
Greg Laidlaw.
France.
Huget.
Ooh, Ireland.
Actually, I'm going to change France and say Pickett-Miles.
Okay, fair
Ireland.
enough.
Sean O'Brien.
Sean O'Brien. And England.
He had a very slow start, but I'm going to say Mike Brown. But Chris Robshaw's played very well.
Brown,
But
really?
I think Mike Brown's played very, very well.
He's been good, okay, yes, and I agree, he's been fantastic, yeah, and he deserves the Lions spot, but still, as a winger, you'd want to score one or two tries. He hasn't scored a try.
It's true, but I think he's done the basics very, very well.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he did make a lot of mistakes against Scotland in the first game. He didn't have a very good game by all accounts, but I think since then he's shown that he's not really fazed by that.
I've been really impressed by Jeff Parling and Joe Launchbury.
I've been very impressed by Launchbury. I think Parling's a good player. Also, someone who I was very impressed with against Italy, Mako Vunipola.
Really?
He was
he
probably one of England's only real good performances in that game. I think it's a shame he's been dropped to the bench for France.
But yeah, no. So who did you mention there? You mentioned Greg Laidlaw for Scotland.
Yeah.
So that's all, because the first 2 weeks, me and you were singing the praises of Stuart Hogg.
Yeah, I think Hogg is definitely someone that, when you think about it a little bit more, I mean, being put on the spot is thinking, which players. No. Hogg's another one, but yeah, Laidlaw's had a cracking
there's
tournament.
Absolute reason for
kicking.
Laidlaw.
Yeah.
He's a leader as well.
Yeah, other Scottish players I'd mention would be Johnny Beattie.
Yeah.
Jim Hamilton, but he had a little bit of a
say.
nightmare against Wales.
Yeah.
But yeah, until that he played very well.
Yeah, and you mentioned Sean O'Brien for Ireland.
Yeah.
He's done well. He's secured his Lions berth, you'd imagine.
Yeah, I think other nominees, Luke Marshall, I think he'll be on the plane.
You see, we were talking about this.
If he plays well this week, I think he'll be on the plane.
Well, because there's an opening at inside centre, isn't there? That's what we were saying. I mean, let's go over the candidates. So you got Luke Marshall, Jamie Roberts.
I don't think he'll make the plane. He's been very uninspiring.
Jamie Roberts, who 4 years ago was one of the best players on the tour for the Lions.
One of the best players in the world.
Did he not win Lions Player of the Tour?
I think he might have done, or at least Players Player.
Players Player.
He was running all the excellent lines. And
so Luke Marshall has a chance, because Jamie Roberts might not be on the plane. Who else? Who's the other options really?
Well, Tuilagi or Barrett, they keep switching and swapping between.
Well, they'll both be on the plane.
Yeah, they'll both be on the plane. But are either of them a 12? I'd say they're both 13s really.
Yeah.
I think you could definitely have Marshall alongside one of them.
Well, yeah, that'd be
even Marshall alongside O'Driscoll.
Oh, Driscoll, he's gone. He's done, and that's sad for me. He had his last game at the Aviva Stadium.
We think.
Yeah. Well, we hope
I reckon
not,
he probably has.
At the same time, yeah. He is Brian O'Driscoll, but he's still You know, I think he's past his best, and I think he knows. He's the one been hinting at it. And Declan Kidney can say what he likes, but only O'Driscoll will make the decision. And it sounds like O'Driscoll's made the decision, really.
Yeah.
But, he's been a great servant to rugby. But here, let's very quickly. Last week's predictions. Who came out on top in last week's predictions?
On top last week's predictions, I took a 2-1 win.
Oh, nightmare.
So that means
Absolute nightmare.
I think I've got a 7-5 win.
So I need
lead
to
rather.
Right, so if I win all three
You've gotta win
predictions
all
for this
three.
week,
Yeah.
I 8-7 in an unlikely victory. But if you
Yeah.
take one, you've taken the victory.
I have, yeah.
Oh,
So
that's a lot of
The
pressure.
pressure's on. Let's rattle through them. We've not got a lot of time. We've got a lot to talk
We've got
about.
so much to talk about, right?
So,
Okay.
Italy, Ireland.
Italy,
At
Ireland.
Italy, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm going to say Italy 18, Ireland 22. What's your call on that one, Michael?
Ireland 29, Italy 12.
France, Scotland. Let's have you go first.
France, Scotland.
You do realise, by the way, that could have been a very fateful prediction, and that could cost you the.
Mate, I know. All right, I live in the edge. I might just, you know, rogue. France, is it in France?
I believe so. Yeah.
It's in France. Okay, I'm going to go for a 8-point victory to France. So I'm going to
Really? That's interesting.
21-13 France.
Okay, because I'd agree. Scotland started very well, didn't they? But
They did. They were very
not
promising.
performed that well. I've got an interesting thing to say about France
Please say it.
regarding foreign players. Some people have said, "Oh, the Aviva Premiership, like the Celtic League, whatever, the Rabo Pro Direct, whatever it's called now."
Mm-hmm.
They suffer from having all the players going overseas. People saying, "Oh, they shouldn't." They're like, "Why is there a salary cap?" Blah. I'm not sure there is in the Rabo Pro Direct, but it's the top 4 teams are far more competitive league, and
Yeah,
it's got relegation
absolutely.
and stuff. But yeah, I think that the foreign players could be killing the French team because, I mean, well, Michelak's a scrum half for Toulon, isn't he?
And he's playing
He's
out
playing,
half,
yeah, he's playing 10 for France. So I think they're really struggling, and in the forwards as well.
and it's showing.
Some of the players just haven't had the game time.
Yeah, that's, well, no, it's a very, very good point actually, and it is showing because France came into the tournament as a lot of people's favourites, and they could be coming home with a wooden spoon. But Sam, what's your
Good.
prediction?
My prediction, I think it's going to be close. I think France could win this as well. Because you've said France will win, I'm just going to spice it up. Could take it to a Grandstand decider for us as well. I'm going to say France 21, Scotland 22, and a much improved French performance. But it's not
that'll be a
going
fun
to be
game to
enough.
watch.
Yeah.
Before we just go on to our last prediction, can I say, give us a tweet about your heroes and villains of the week at URF Studio, and also who you think is player of the Six Nations. That'd be an interesting one. Who was the best player or the worst player of the Six Nations? Heroes and the villains of the Six Nations, if you like, at URF Studio on Twitter. But now for our final prediction, Sam.
Wales, England.
Wales, England.
Oh, I really
Now,
don't
see,
know.
I bet your heart and your head are telling you 2 different things here.
Yeah, to an extent, but I'm not that like a passionate fan that's going to be miserable. For
You are
days on
not
end
St
if England
George tomorrow.
lose. No, I mean I'm going to be hoping England win, obviously, but if Wales play better and they deserve to win, then hats off to them. There's
Ever
not a
the
lot more you
sportsman,
can
Sam.
say. I'm going to say I think I can see either team winning it. I don't think Wales will win the championship. They could, but I think 8 or 7 points is just beyond their grasp. I might say England 21, Wales 19. Just holding on to the Grand Slam with their dying breath in the face of a rampant Welsh attack in the last minute. But yeah, I think England will get it.
I'm saying a 9-point Wales win.
Are you?
9-point Wales win.
Championship, of
Oh, what's
course
he
he is.
doing? What is
Of
he
course he
doing?
is.
This one. I'm going to say 25-16 to Wales. Just because I want them to win.
Right, that's been noted. So all our opinions are in. If you've got any opinions on what you think's going to win, who's going to win the games, who's going to win is there going to be a Grand Slam? Let us know. We've given some pretty different predictions,
We
so
have.
our predictions league is still very much wide open.
It's going to be an interesting one, and I could be coming here with my tail firmly between my legs this time next week. But for now, we've already played the Welsh Rugby Union song, so it's only fair before this match that we play the England Rugby Union song, Sweet Chariot.